Good morning. Myself Manoj, working as assistant professor in EC department, Chebrolu Engineering College, Chebrolu, and today's topic is junction field effect transistor. Right? P channel JFET. Right? In my previous class, I have explained you about N channel JFET, and now we are moving on to P channel JFET. Right? As already we said, JFET has many advantages when compared to BJTs, right? And like BJT, JFET is also a three-terminal semiconductor device, and it is also used in variety of applications like in BJT. But when compared to BJT, as I said now, FET has many more advantages, right? Let us discuss about advantages of FETs over BJTs in a short. So, the input resistance for BJT is very high. Sorry, the input resistance for BJT is very less when compared to FET. Input impedance for FET is very high. Okay, and fabrication of FET is also much more easier when compared to BJT, and it has more thermal stability. FET has more thermal stability. Okay, and in FET is a voltage control device, and BJT is a current control device. We have seen in common base and common emitter configuration, and also in common collector configurations, that output current is dependent on input current for transistor. Okay, if you take common base configuration, input current is IE and output current is IC for common base configuration. So output current IC depends on input current IE for common base configuration. Likewise, as we have derived in that session also, output current IC in common base configuration is equal to alpha times IE, alpha times input current, where alpha is current gain in common base configuration. If we move on to common emitter configuration, then output current is IC and input current is IB. In that also, IC equal to beta times IB, where beta is current gain in common emitter configuration. So, in all the configurations of transistor, output current depends on input current. But the term field effect transistor, FET, in FET is not a current control device, it is a voltage control device. Okay, here the output current is not a function of input current in FET. The term field effect transistor was named after the characteristic of this device. The output current depends on input field. The output current depends on input field here. So input field affects the output current. Input field means the voltage which I am going to apply between the input terminals, that is source and gate. So output current is a measure of input voltage. So output current can be controlled by varying input field. That's why the name field effect transistor. The current through the device is controlled by input field. That's why input field has an effect on output current. That's why the name field effect transistor, right? So likewise in transistor we have NPN and PNP in BJTs, right? In FETs also we have two types. One is N channel JFET and next one is P channel JFET, junction field effect transistor. Of course, the FETs are classified more into MOSFET, MESFET, IGFET likewise, and I'm going to deal about JFET and MOSFET only. And in this session, I'm going to deal about P-channel JFET only, as I have covered N-channel JFET in my previous class, right? So we are moving on to P-channel JFET, right? Likewise, in bipolar junction transistors, NPN and PNP, we have N-channel and P-channel field effect transistors here, right? And BJT is a bipolar device. That means total current depends on both majority and minority charge carriers, but FET is an unipolar device. Okay, so output current is dependent on only majority charge carriers flow. Okay, the flow of majority charge carriers only. So for N-channel JFET, the current is due to electrons, majorly due to electrons only, and we will take majority charge carriers only here, N-channel. And coming to P-channel JFET, the current is due to movement of holes. The current is due to movement of holes here. So holes takes part in conduction in P-channel JFET. Okay, and as I said now, the most important characteristic of FET is high input impedance. High input impedance. Okay. Excuse me. And FETs are more temperature stable than BJTs. FETs are more temperature stable than BJTs. Right? Of course, like BJTs, FETs are also temperature dependent. But in FET, as temperature increases, drain resistance also increases, reducing the drain current. Thus, unlike BJT, thermal runaway condition doesn't occur in FET. Thus, we can say FET is more temperature stable than BJT. And FET has high input impedance in the range of several megaohms, 1 megaohm to several megaohms. Because of FETs have higher input impedance than BJTs, they are preferred as amplifiers where high input impedance is required. And also, noise rejection in FET is very high when compared to BJT. And FETs require very less space to fabricate. It is the major important characteristic, major important constructional feature of FET. That's why they are highly preferred in integrated circuits, right? Why it is much more easy than fabrication of BJT means, as I said in my class, in my previous class, in BJT, the three terminals, emitter, base, collector terminals. Emitter is highly doped, base is lightly doped, and collector is moderately doped, right? And the emitter width is high, base width is very thin, and collector width is much more greater than the width of emitter region. So these rules I have to follow while fabricating BJT, and there are no such rules in fabricating FET. Okay, I can't make FET into 3 parts and dope each part with different concentrations. So it is not like that in FET. That's why the fabrication of FET is very much easier than the fabrication of BJT. Okay. And next thing, in FET, as I said, it is also a 3-terminal semiconductor device having 3 terminals, namely source, gate and drain, right? Source, gate and drain are the terminals of FET, right? So here in FET, the source and drain terminals are interchangeable. We can change the terminals. So I can use source terminal as drain terminal, and also I can use drain terminal as source terminal. Okay, but in BJT I can't use emitter terminal as collector terminal and collector terminal as emitter terminal. Why? Because in BJT I have some restrictions like emitter must be highly doped, collector must be moderately doped, base must be lightly doped, and the emitter width is high, base width must be less, and collector width must be greater than the width of emitter. These boundaries make me to use emitter terminal as emitter terminal only and collector terminal as collector terminal only. I can't interchange emitter and collector terminals. I can't use emitter terminal as collector terminal and collector terminal as emitter terminal, right? Vice versa. So in fact, I don't have these limitations. So that's why I can use source terminal as drain terminal and also drain terminal as source terminal. I can interchange these two terminals, source and drain terminals, right? So let us move on to P channel JFET. Okay, and some other things I want to discuss now itself. That is FET is somewhat nonlinear device. Okay, means when I compare input and output. Okay, the relation between input and output, if I take FET is nonlinear and BJT is linear, and if I compare BJT and FET in terms of thermal noise in FET is much lower, right? But the thermal noise in BJT is more, right? And if I compare bandwidth of FET and BJT has higher bandwidth and FET has lower bandwidth, right? And BJT I can use in three configurations, namely common emitter, common base and common collector. Likewise, FET also can be used in three configurations: common source, common gate and common drain, right? And if I want to compare sensitivity of BJT and FETs, BJT has higher sensitivity to changes in applied signals, but the FET has less sensitivity to changes in the applied voltage. Okay, and if I want another thing I want to discuss here, one thing is this, that if I take FETs are much more easier to fabricate than compared to BJTs. So that's why these are much more practically useful in integrated circuit chips, in fabrication of integrated circuits. Okay, so here if I want more logic density, I go for FETs. If I want more speed of operation, I go for BJTs. Okay, so BJT is very fast to operate and FETs are somewhat slower and compared to BJTs, somewhat slower, that's it. Okay, when compared to BJTs, right? So let us move on to schematic of P channel JFET, right? So here I will take here P type substrate, this P type substrate, and I will diffuse to N types. I will diffuse N type substrate in the middle here. Okay, so what will I do? I will take semiconductor silicon substrate, right? And I will dope it with trivalent impurities to make it P type. And at the center, like a ring, I will diffuse pentavalent impurities to make it N type. So this is the longitudinal cross-cut section of P channel JFET. P channel JFET. So here I'm taking 3 ohmic contacts. Okay, the ohmic contact on the downside of this p-type semiconductor substrate is source terminal, right? And the ohmic contact which is on the top of this slide, okay, attached to p-type semiconductor substrate, it is drain, and I will connect third terminal gate to the middle, which is connected to n-type semiconductor substrate. Okay, so here between these two n-type semiconductor substrates, a p-type material is there, and it gives the way for source to drain. So for charge carriers to move from source to drain. So that's why it's called P channel JFET. That's why it's called P channel JFET. Means the channel is p-type here, and holes which are the majority charge carriers in p-type only will takes part in conduction process, and I am least bothered about minority charge carriers in FET. But in BJT I have to consider both majority and minority charge carriers. Okay, I have to consider both majority and minority charge carriers in order to calculate total current. But here in FET only majority charge carriers will take part in conduction process, and I am least bothered about minority charge carriers. Okay, and now here in p-type holes are majority charge carriers, and this n-type gate holes are minority charge carriers. So what will happen? The holes which are majority charge carriers in p-type semiconductor substrate will move towards n-type substrate. Why? Because there is a process called diffusion takes place, right? What is diffusion? If the charge carriers move from high concentration area to low concentration area without any applied external energy, means under no force, under no energy supplied, if charge carriers move from high concentration area to low concentration area, then it is called diffusion, right? So the holes which are majority charge carriers in p-type semiconductor substrate will diffuse from p-type layer to n-type layer, and n-type semiconductor substrate like this, right? So the holes move from p-type layer to p-type substrate to n material. Likewise, electrons which are majority charge carriers in n-type gate will move from n-type to p-type substrate, where in p-type electrons will become minority charge carriers. So electrons will move from gate terminal to this base material. So eventually what will happen? Eventually here at this junction, okay, at this junction of p-type and n-type, two depletion regions are formed here in the schematic. Okay, this is longitudinal cut section of FET, p channel FET. So depletion region is formed here. Okay, so this is the schematic of p channel JFET under no voltage applied, under no bias. Okay, so let us move on to circuit diagram, how I will connect it, right? So this is the circuit diagram. Okay, so let's once go to schematic again. This is a P channel JFET. And now how I have to give this voltage as VDD? How I have to give this voltage VDD here? Here the holes are here. Sorry.